Dave, the back, Dave, the back, the back, the back.
We're so good.
It's fine. Good platform.
Oh, that's not yeah. Okay, 3 to 4 feet on
Good now.
Yeah. So we're going to the fuel dock.
Okay.
Bonjour, my name is David DeVere, and I co-own this boat, the Relax Companion. We keep it in Strasbourg, France at Europe Boat Trading's Marina. Now, it shouldn't surprise anyone that's done any kind of boating that marinas can be really crowded. But last year, when the Strasbourg, an old ferry that's 138 feet long and 20 feet wide, decided to park directly in front of us. Now, that's not really an issue because it was going to go off to the Netherlands in a couple days to get repainted. And that's exactly what happened. A couple days later, it left and it went to the Netherlands. In the summer of 23, the Strasbourg came back. It's interesting having her back in front because it's kind of like a big apartment building moved in. Now, let me explain the neighborhood. To our port side, there's a long old barge. We call that the murder boat. Now, it's kind of macabre, but somebody was murdered on that boat and we don't really know the name of the boat anymore. So it's, well, the murder boat. So we had the murder boat tied right next to us, and then across from us we had the Strasbourg. And a day before we were about to leave for a 3-week cruise, the Oribi was slid in. Now the Oribi was on her way to Holland too, so this is kind of like the Dutch temporary holding spot, I guess, in Strasbourg. But that made my trip out a little bit precarious. I had only one little angle to get out. Now our boat is 13 feet wide and 42 feet long, and I've got to fit my rectangle in red here through this little gap without hitting anybody. And here we are, our neighborhood in Strasbourg. You can see that the boats are piled in here pretty deep. They're thick, and it's a bit like playing Tetris, getting into and out of your slip, but it makes sense. Strasbourg is a major European city. It's connected by TGV to Paris, and where the marina is located, it's close to rapid transit that takes you downtown, a boulangerie, a laverie, and a grocery store. I really like being here, but it can be hard to get out, and on this day, that was certainly the case. So Amy's getting the stern line ready. I'm helping her prepare that. Sarah's on the bow ready to cast off. We're still tied to the murder boat after all, so we need to get that free. And I've got Dave and Corey on the back deck. Now Dave's going to be on the stern. He's watching to see if when we clear Daniel's boat, that's the white boat on our starboard side, and Corey's going to go up to the bow and he's going to tell me how close we get to the Oribi. I'm going to have to send the boat, the Relax Companion, directly toward the Oribi, and then once we're clear of Daniel's boat, that's when I can make my move. I can't twist earlier than that because my stern will swing too wide and I'll hit Daniel's boat. Okay, Sarah's on board. Amy's released the stern. I give one little pulse of power and we're just slipping out. You can see we're hitting the fenders on Daniel's boat. That's how close these boats are stacked in here. So I'm slipping out and I'm waiting for Dave to give me the command that we have cleared Daniel's boat. I've got a little bit of a twist going on, just slightly, and Corey's up in front telling me how close I am to the Oribi. I can't see any of this. I can't see the bow. I can't see the stern. I'm relying on the crew to give me specific instructions on how far we are from all of our impediments. Sarah is now racing around, looking at this, looking at that, making sure that the numbers people are telling me, because my crew is amateur, are actually accurate. Because, if you say it's 10 feet and it's actually 1 foot, well, that's a big difference. Anyway, we're getting close to the murder boat. She's got a couple rusty old anchors hanging off, and I don't want to hit those, but I also don't want to hit the Strasbourg. This is looking pretty good. I've got my nice twist on. I'm about to give us a little bit of pulse of power to get out of here, but then I realize we are twisting too much, and bonk, I hit the Oribi. We hit her with one of our fenders. It's not a hard strike. No damage was done, but Darn it, I didn't make it out of here without nudging something. Oh well, so is boating in Europe. You're always rubbing on other boats. You're always bunking into the sides of the lock. It really is bumper boating around in Europe. Anyway, I love it. The excitement and the location and the opportunity to cruise these old waterways is just fantastic. Sarah and Dave are now pulling up the fenders to make sure that they don't get hung up on that line that is securing the Orbi's stern to the Strasbourg. And our friends Mark and Deborah, who live on their boat, the Melba, are right next to that. And Deborah's going to be here. There she is, waving out the window, giving me the thumbs up. She sent me a nice text message saying the Orbeez left, gone to Holland. So when we came back in 2 weeks, it wasn't a problem pulling in and then backing into our slip. Thank goodness. Anyway, that's how boating goes in Europe. If you don't like it, if it's too stressful for you, I wouldn't suggest you do it. But it's not really that hard, and it's always quite the adventure. We're going to take our boat to the fuel dock now, which is super simple to get to. If you've enjoyed this content and you want to see more, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm going to make more boating content as we go into the future. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until the next time, I say à tout à l'heure and cheers.